Prince Harry allegedly accused Queen Elizabeth of killing Princess Diana. Prince Harry still has a lot of anger and resentment in his heart when it comes to Princess Diana's death. In its May 31st issue, In Touch Weekly claimed that Prince Harry is secretly blaming Queen Elizabeth for Princess Diana's sudden demise. Following his interview on the Armchair Expert podcast, the tabloid claimed that Prince Harry put all the blame on the royal family. After all, he said that he didn't want to do what he had been doing because of what happened to the Princess of Wales. He basically was saying being in the royal family destroyed his mother and ultimately led to her death. A chain of events was set off that the Queen seemingly did nothing to stop, the source said. The insider added that the Queen hopes Prince Harry would think first before he speaks because he's hurting her and a lot of people along the way. Her Majesty is still recovering from Prince Philip's death last month. And she doesn't deserve any additional stress right now, especially from her grandson. She's just so upset, losing her husband and now this. What will Harry and Meghan do next? The source said. During his interview, Prince Harry said that he wants to be a better parent to his son, Archie, as well as his future daughter. After all, even though he experienced a lot of pain as a kid, he knows that part of it came from the pain that his parents experienced. Now that he is a dad, Prince Harry has vowed to break the cycle and ensure that Archie won't experience the same struggles that he experienced while he was growing up. However, even though the Duke of Sussex tried his best not to throw shade at Prince Charles during the interview, the latter still allegedly sees him as a villain. Prince Charles couldn't help but think that Prince Harry changed and it's all because of his wife. The source said that if Prince Harry is still traumatized by the past, he should have reached out to his family in order for them to discuss their issues privately. However, Prince Harry keeps throwing shade at them during his interview. But it is important to note that Prince Harry said that he tried reaching out to his dad about his problems. But when he told them that he's suffering mentally, they refused to help him out. Who killed Princess Diana? Conspiracy theories endure, 20 years later. The car crash that killed Princess Diana on August 31, 1997, was a tragedy that shocked the world. Multiple investigations ultimately attributed her unlawful death to the reckless driving of both her chauffeur, Henri Paul, who was ruled to be drunk at the time, and the paparazzi dangerously tailing her limousine. But 2 decades later, conspiracy theories endure, with fingers pointing at everyone from the paparazzi and the royal family to the French police and Britain's MI6 Foreign Intelligence Service for their supposed roles in the deaths of Diana and her then-boyfriend Dodi Fayed. With August 31, 2017, marking the 20-year anniversary of Diana's death, revisit the unsubstantiated theories surrounding what happened in Paris Pont de l'Alma tunnel that night. 1. Diana and Fayed's relationship doomed the couple. One common theory posits that Diana and Fayed's public courtship cost them their lives. Martin Gregory, author of Diana, The Last Days, explains in the TLC documentary Princess Diana, Tragedy or Treason that Fayed was planning on proposing to Diana the night of the crash. Hours before, Dodi decided to go to the jeweler Repassai, who showed him a new ring, which was part of a series called Tell Me Yes, he said. He didn't buy one of the rings, but he did order a ring for Diana, and that was delivered to the Imperial Suite at the Ritz Hotel. After his son's death, Mohammed Fayed famously launched his own investigation into the accident, believing the royal family was biased against his son because he was an Egyptian Muslim. Fayed reasoned the British establishment wanted to prevent Diana and Dodi from marrying so that Prince William, the future king, and Prince Harry would not have a Muslim stepfather. 2. Diana was pregnant. Central to Fayed's belief that foul play was behind Diana's death was his further claim that Diana was pregnant with Dodi's child at the time of the crash. Fayed even publicly said that Diana phoned him on the night she died to tell him about the pregnancy. Adding fuel to conspiracy theorists' fire that Diana was expecting was the fact that she was partially embalmed after her death, a procedure that would make it impossible to test her blood. She was embalmed before the autopsy, which is against the law, Richard Belzer, actor, author and Diana conspiracy theorist, told Tragedy or Treason. We couldn't prove she was pregnant or not because she was embalmed, so that's incredibly, ghoulishly suspicious to order an embalming, especially in such a high-profile death. Operation Paget, the British police's investigation into the conspiracy theories behind Diana's death, ran tests on Diana's blood found in the wrecked Mercedes, finding no trace of the HCG hormone that indicates pregnancy. Tests have shown that it is possible to detect the pregnancy hormone HCG in very old blood stains, the report reads. The blood stain from the carpet was tested and no HCG was detected. 3. Henri Paul plotted the murder. As for which parties plotted the assassination of Diana and Dottie, conspiracy theorists' favorite suspects include the couple's driver, Henri Paul. Paul was the security manager at the Ritz Hotel, which is owned by Fade, and had been in the family's employ for a decade. As the theory goes, Paul was paid by MI6 to assassinate Diana and Fade. Former MI6 officer Richard Tomlinson famously attested that he had seen Paul's file and could confirm that he was an informant. Henri Paul, who was the driver of the car, was also the security manager at the Ritz Hotel and he was a MI6 informant. I saw his file, Tomlinson told reporters at the time. It's been well established that he went missing for 2 or 3 hours the night of his death. Despite the fact that Paul made just $35,000 a year, he had nearly $250,000 in his bank account at the time of his death, in addition to a significant amount of cash with him when he died, prompting further speculation that MI6 paid him off. I am certain that this money originated from MI6, Tomlinson told a French judge in 1998. This is speculation on my part, but if he was an MI6 informant, it would be quite normal for him to receive money. 4. The white Fiat Uno. Another suspect was the driver of the white Fiat that reportedly followed Diana into the tunnel, leaving forensic evidence on the Mercedes that suggested the two cars made glancing contact, per the Operation Paget report. Obviously that was a big story, because it was. Where is the white car? Who was driving it? Were they to blame somehow? David Lee, former Daily Mirror editor, told Tragedy or Treason. Conspiracy theorists attempted to link the Fiat to James Andanson, and thus link the well-known French paparazzo to the crash scene, claiming he also was an MI6 informant. Operation Paget accepted Andanson's statement that he was home with his wife during the crash. Andanson was found dead in his car in the French countryside in 2000. Police ruled it a suicide, but Fade and other doubters claim he was killed for the part they believe he played in the alleged assassination of Diana and Dottie. 5. The flash before the crash. French eyewitness François Levestre, who was driving through the tunnel ahead of Diana's Mercedes, claimed to have seen a bright light at the crash's point of impact. That kicked off the flash before the crash theory, with Tomlinson, the former MI6 agent, claiming he had seen a similar flashing strobe light in his training, used to disorientate drivers as a method of vehicular assassination. Levestre's wife, who was sitting next to him in a car, contradicted his testimony, and Operation Paget later concluded that no such flash had taken place.